Hello, everyone. Welcome to our virtual Kentucky Dance Academy Parent Orientation for our 2023-2024 season. I'm going to try to get through this nice and quick so you don't have to watch this whole thing. If you did come to orientation, this is the same information. If you didn't, this is just another way to kind of get this information. If you're more of a visual person or a reader, all of this is in our handbook. That is in that Google folder that you got when you signed up with your welcome email. If you're more of an auditory learner or you just prefer to have both visual and auditory input, this is probably the best way to do it. Today we're going to go through dress code, studio culture, financial information, class cancellations and makeup classes, performance opportunities, progression through the levels, and some community building. There are a couple of announcements. If you are joining later in the year after October, this probably won't really apply to you. But if you're starting in August, September, October, then these will matter. Number one, our store and storage area has moved. It is now the last door on the right on the second floor of our building. It used to be that first door on your left. So when you see that that room is being renovated, don't panic. It's right across from Studio C. Studio C on the second floor is also going to be undergoing some renovation to expand. So we're going to take down most of that wall between Studio C and the room beside it to make it about the size of our downstairs studios. This is being negotiated with some contractors, but as soon as we get our contract with whoever we go with, it should be complete within 5 days of the work. And they say that Studio C should be usable that whole time. So if you have a class in Studio C these first couple of weeks, don't panic. You're going to have lots more room to dance. It just is in process. It's been a very long process with this old building. And then just so everybody is aware, I'll send reminders of this. I'm going to be out October 12th through 22nd because I'm getting married and going on a honeymoon. But we'll have a contact point person for anything that comes up when I'm out of the country. We already have worked Nutcracker scheduling around that, but just so everyone is aware and kind of has that in the back of their mind that I'll be out there for a couple weeks. Let's go into dress code. For all of these, I'm not going to read every single word. I'm just going to touch base on anything that's changed, anything that's super important. Again, all of this is in the handbook if you ever need to refer to it. And I love questions, so please feel free to ask me questions. Some basics, your tights and your leotard, those count as underwear, so you don't have to wear underwear under them. But as you get older, you might want a bra if that makes you feel more secure. And then for our dancers with penises, you might want a dance belt when you turn about 11. This is the hill I will die on. Hair should be secured away from your face. So whatever that means for your length of hair, if you have really short hair, then you don't have to worry about it. If your hair is longer, it needs to be up in a bun for pretty much every class so we can see your head and neck and so it doesn't get in your face when you're dancing. The expectations and penalties. I expect that everyone's always going to be in dress code. There are times you're going to be running late. You're going to forget to grab your bag. Dad's going to pick you up instead of mom. And so there's always those little slips and you don't have what you need, and that is okay. But when we're consistently out of dress code, that's telling me and your other teachers that there's a problem, and either you're having trouble getting ready for class for some reason, or you're unwilling to wear the dress code for some reason. We want to know that so we can work with you. If you have a specific concern about modesty or body image or comfort, talk to your teacher and talk to me. That's what we're here for. And it's an ongoing negotiation, figuring out the best dress code for us. This is something I shared at the orientation in person. A lot of the discussion in the dance world has been tradition versus making sure that our students are comfortable. And really what it comes down to is, do I want you all dressed perfectly the way that I have laid it out every single time, no matter the cost, or do I want you to be able to dance fully because you're comfortable and happy? and obviously I want you to be comfortable and happy. So let's talk through anything that comes up. This is an ongoing thing, but I do want us to be striving to hit whatever dress code we decide on. If you are out of dress code a couple times in a row, then I'll reach out to you if you're older specifically, but then also to whoever your grown-ups are, just to make sure that there's not something I'm not understanding that I'm missing. For buns, another mama had a great idea of doing like a bun tutorial when we get closer to performance time to kind of go through this in person and do some problem solving. There's a million tutorials online. There's a million images like this. This is the kind of bun I do because I have very fine, thin hair. I call it a honey bun because it looks like those honey buns that you'll get out of like a vending machine. The secret to this, I would say, is bobby pins and a really tight ponytail and securing your bun to the hair that's pulled back in the ponytail so it's not like a big old doorknob on the back of your head that wants to bounce around. This is another option, a sock bun or a foam bun, where you wrap the hair around like a little foam cushion looking thing or like an old sock that's been rolled up. I could never do this because I don't have enough hair, but this works really well for a lot of people come performance time. There's also, we have dancers with braids or with dreads or with other hair textures. Anything that keeps your hair up and secure so you don't have to mess with it is what we want. That's the whole goal is to make it through class without having to touch your hair. Youth division dress code. This one's super simple. For our female identifying dancers, a leotard of any color, pink or skin tone tights. You want to go ahead and buy whatever tights you're going to need for performance. Pink or skin tone ballet shoes, black tap shoes, black jazz shoes, transition tights, so you can get to your bare feet. For tiny twirlers, you would just need the tap shoes, bare feet, and ballet shoes. Beginning dance, depending on which class you're in, you may need jazz shoes, hip hop sneakers, bare feet, etc. Male identifying is simple play clothes or exercise clothes, shirts and pants without writing or designs, just so they're not distracting. And then white socks, black ballet shoes, black tap shoes, black jazz shoes, bare feet, all of that stuff. Our non-binary dancers, you can choose at your comfort level, whichever one feels right to you. And then any dancer over the age of 2, go ahead and get your hair up in a bun or a ponytail. Another thing to note, if your dancer does an acro portion of their class, they'll probably want a leotard without an attached skirt just because those can get in the way when they're doing their acro stuff, when they're tumbling. Pre-pro ballet dress code. This is the same as it was last year. I'm asking for the base layer of a leotard and tights. But we are allowing shorts this year, and I want them to be tight fitting so we can still see your body. But that seemed to be something that made the majority of our dancers feel more comfortable as if they are permitted to wear some shorts over. Our male dancers, a solid colored tee or tank, men's tights or shorts or athletic pants, again, pretty tight fitting so you can see what your body's doing. Black or white socks and black or white ballet shoes. Non-binary dancers, again, pick and choose what works for you, and then hair in a bun like we've talked about before. Pre-professional division jazz dress code. Miss Brittany prefers black and black, so black tights or leggings or shorts or whatever, and then a black shirt or Leo, whatever's going to work for you, and then your black jazz shoes. And I will say for any of the classes that Miss Brittany teaches, so jazz, contemporary, theater dance, advanced contemporary training, this is her preference, is hair up and secured and then all black just to look really sleek and clean. For contemporary, same thing. There might be days that they do combinations that she'll allow for some freedom so you all can dance in like a little costumey kind of thing, but you all will talk about that whenever those come up. But for regular class, the black on black is her preference, and then barefoot or socks. For a tap, it's a little bit more relaxed. wear warm-ups, jackets, hoodies, sweatpants, whatever you need to do. I would say go ahead and have your leotard and tights on, since usually you're going to have another dance class after, and then get your hair up and out of your face for tap, because Miss Caroline's going to make you sweat. For acro, this is one that's a little more specific. You definitely want a leotard, transition tights, shorts, leggings, anything super tight fitting. You don't want anything loose, because when Miss Julia or Miss Susanna is spotting you, if their arms get tangled in like a loose shirt or like flowy pants, it's going to be dangerous. They're not going to be able to hold you. Then make sure you don't have any earrings, necklaces, bracelets. We don't want anything to get caught on the mats or on yourself or on somebody else, because that really hurts. Boys, same thing, tight fitting. And then our non-binary dancers comply with either. Just make sure it's nice and tight fitting so that we're safe in acro. And then make sure that your hair is up and out of your face. I would say a bun is preferable, because when you're turning, it won't get in your eyes. But I also know that sometimes if your bun is kind of high, it hurts on the mat. So a ponytail is okay too. Theater dance, same as jazz, same as contemporary, black and black. And then our dancers that are gonna wear heels, they'll need those heeled black character shoes. Otherwise, jazz shoes. So usually our female identifying dancers go with the heels, and our male identifying dancers go with the jazz shoe option. And then hip hop's a little bit more relaxed. All dancers and all genders, choice of workout clothes, leotard and tights with warm-ups, or a t-shirt and shorts. Wear clean tennis shoes. Make sure that you have tennis shoes in your bag. And ideally, just to protect our floors and to make sure we don't have to mop every single day, have some shoes that are just for hip hop class and just for inside use. And then make sure that your hair is up out of your face, because you know Miss Andrea will make you sweat. And then adult hip hop, same idea, whatever you're comfortable in. Ideally, shoes that you're only going to wear in the studio, and not shoes that you're going to wear out on the street as well. A little ready for class versus not. I would love if we all looked like dancer A, and I see a lot of dancer B, which is so cute, but not dance ready. These are just some resources, and I can share them with you. On tight shoes, skin tone versus pink in ballet classes. This is a larger discussion in the ballet world specifically. Pink tights are really rooted in white supremacy. And so we made the choice a few years ago to move away from pink tights and start embracing dancers wearing tights that correspond to their skin tone. There's a lot of essays on it. There's a lot of articles on it, a lot of history on it. And I just like you all to have all the information. So if you're ever curious, this is why we do skin tone. Where can I buy dancewear? This is a hard one, because Frankfurt, even though we're the capital, feels like a small town. For bigger dance stores, you're going to want to go to either Lexington or Louisville. I recommend Dance Biz in Lexington or Kinney Dancewear in Louisville. I will say for point shoes, I strongly prefer Kinney Dancewear in Louisville. We do have a new store, like I mentioned before. It's that last store on your right on the second floor. We've expanded a little bit. We do have a small amount of new shoes in stock. Some of those are on back order. We have a bunch of gently used leotards, warm-ups for sale. We have tights of all kinds of skin tones and sizes that are all new, because used tights are weird. And then we also have a program where our kiddos are going to grow out of shoes really fast. And so we have gently used dance shoes for $5 a pair, no matter the style. And so if you outgrow shoes, you're welcome to throw those up there. We can credit your account, or you can just switch out and see if there's the next size up for you and go ahead and grab those. So if you ever need to just pop into our store, it's always open during class time. And then for online, I say if you can find cheaper stuff on Amazon, definitely go for it. If you're looking for good quality that I trust, I would say Discount Dance Supply and Dancewear Solutions both have really good, wide-ranging bases of dancewear. Studio culture, how we do things. I'm just going to read the bold print. You can read the fine print on your own. First one is being early is on time, being on time is late, and being late is unacceptable. There are always going to be days that you are rushing to the studio and you're dropping 8 different kids off 8 different places in the same 20 minutes. But anytime you can get your dancer to the studio earlier, that's better. We want to give them time where they can get changed, get their hair up, have time to talk to their friends and hang out, stretch, warm up for class, really build that community with their friends and have time in the studio to feel like this is their home. It's really important that when you can get them there early, we get them there early. The next one is a big one. The studio is for dancing, not for talking, eating, running, swinging, etc. There's a lot of times that if there's an open studio that we have siblings or we have dancers go in there and play. And it's not that I mind that. It's just that one, it's a liability concern. The studios have a lot of stuff that if the dancers chose to like swing on a bar or bounce really crazy on our bouncy floors, they could get injured. And we wouldn't necessarily know because usually our teachers are in class. The other thing is that it kind of blurs that line for what the studio is. We want to be sure that the studio is a space that we keep safe and calm and ready for learning. And if we allow it to be a play area, that's where it starts getting confusing for our littles. They don't always know how to kind of code switch in class time. This one is very simple for us, but I go a lot of places where this isn't part of the culture. You always say thank you to your instructors at the end of class. So you go up, you curtsy or you bow, you say thank you. It's a big part of dance culture at large and is something I want to be sure that we're preserving. And then this is a big one for me. Dancers are going to follow the rules out of respect. We don't want a culture where the dancers feel like they are avoiding punishment and that's why they're doing what we're asking. We want them to feel like they are choosing to treat their fellow dancers, their instructors, the space, the art form with respect because they love it and they want to be here and they're happy to be here. We don't want it to be this kind of thing where our dancers are afraid they're going to be in trouble. And then this is another big one. Perfection's the goal, but mistakes are part of the journey. Our studio is all about messing up till you get it right. It's going to take time. You're going to do crazy stuff in class. You're going to make big mistakes. But that's all part of it. That's part of learning. If you ever watched a baby learn to walk, they fall a million times before they get that first step. And that is the same thing in dance. You're going to fall a million times before you get that perfect pirouette. Financial information, I'm going to breeze through this. If you have questions about this, I say it a couple times, paper trails are best. So be sure to email anything financial, just so I have that to refer to and make sure that I don't overlook it. If you tell me verbally, it's going to leave my brain when you walk away from me. Tuition policies. We don't charge extra stuff. So we don't have a registration fee. We don't have a withdrawal fee. We don't make you sign a contract. Our expectation when you sign up is that you're going to continue from August to May. But obviously things change. If you were only able to do a few months of classes, that is never a problem. We just ask that you communicate that to us so we can cancel any recurring payments through our system. And then I want you to know where your money goes. So for tuition, all of our teachers make $28 an hour. Our out-of-town teachers in Lexington or Shelbyville, we also reimburse them for gas. Our studio rental for our big chunk of the building is about $4,000 a month. So your tuition goes towards that. And then it also goes towards banking up for theater rentals, any things that need to happen in the studio, like the renovation in Studio C. But it goes towards the studio, and I never want you to feel like you don't understand where your money is going. So if you ever have questions or concerns, please just reach out to us. We're very transparent. We'll share anything. A monthly due date. So automatically when you sign up, it's going to charge that first month of tuition. And then it comes out on the first of each month following. That's really easy for us to change. If you have like rent and utilities for your home due on the first and you want to change your due date for dance to the 15th or the 13th or whatever, we can do that. Just again, make sure you email that to us. Also, we just take the whole year of classes and we divide it up. So it's an equal payment for each month, even though like December has fewer classes, it's easier to just charge the same amount all year based on the total number of classes than it is to adjust it for each month. It's just easier to budget when you know what it's going to be every month. Additional fees, any tuition in our system that's more than 5 days late is going to incur a $25 late fee. I don't want to do that. So if you know it's going to be a little late, just tell me so I can cancel that fee. And then there's 3 performance opportunities. All of these are optional. You would never have to pay this unless your kiddo wants to dance with us on stage. So just mark your calendars for August 12th for Racing for a Cure, September 23rd for the Nutcracker. Oh, and that says Matilda, darn it, The Little Mermaid on January 27th. Withdrawal from classes, if you ever needed to withdraw, oh man, and that says 21, 22. Darn, I thought I got all of those dates that were wrong. I'm sorry. If you need to withdraw, that's not a problem. Just let me know, let your instructor know, and then we can either cancel your next payment, which is the easiest, or we will do our best to refund or prorate whatever is left. Class cancellations and makeup classes, we're going to hope that we have really good weather and nothing weird happen. But in the event that we do have weather cancellations, we'll let you know by 1 o'clock that day. We'll send out an email, we'll put it on social media, and we'll also let the news stations know so they can add it to the scroll. On Saturdays, any morning classes, we would cancel those the night before by 9 so you don't wake up and get ready and then get the cancellation notice. In the event a particular day of the week has 2 or more weather-related cancellations, like if it snows one Monday and then a couple weeks later it snows again on a Monday, we'll schedule a makeup day for that class. And usually we're going to do that on spring break. Makeup classes, this is for times the class is going on, but you can't make it. This is ultimately your responsibility. We want to be sure that you're getting your money's worth and that if you miss a class, you still get to experience dance class that you paid for and that you missed out on. For youth division, usually we have an alternative time or a couple of times for any age group. Otherwise, for pre-pro or for like me and my grown-up classes that don't have another alternative, we'll have you jump into a level above or below that. So if you missed a level 1 ballet class, we would have you jump into like a level 2 ballet class to make it up. If you have any questions about an appropriate makeup class or a good time to come in, just ask us, ask your teacher, or ask me. Performance opportunities. Racing for a Cure is our second year doing this, and this is a partnership with Relay for Life of Franklin County. Just like last year, this is for the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life of Franklin County. This is a national organization. There's lots of relays around the country. Ours is going to be at Capital City Christian Church like it was last year, and they have an outdoor pavilion with a roof. It's really big. It's really nice. It's where we did it last year. This is a non-traditional performance though. So this one is not all about us. This is our community-based performance that teaches community service and fundraising to our kiddos. This is also specifically geared towards our non-ballet classes. Our Nutcracker is our ballet performance. And then obviously we have our spring performance, a recital every year. But for this one, this is specifically for beginning tap, acro, and hip hop, jazz 1 through 7, tap 1 through 7, hip hop 1 through 7, theater dance 1 through 7, contemporary 1 through 7, and all the pre-pro acro classes. This is a very stripped down performance. This is not full scale costumes, lights, special theater. We wear a t-shirt, and usually last year we did leggings and then whatever dance shoes we needed. All dancers, your participation fee is $40, and most of your rehearsals are going to happen in class. We might have some additional Saturday rehearsals depending on if we needed to combine some classes or if we just need an extra touch base, but we'll let you know that as soon as we know. We just have to get some numbers in before we have to make those final decisions. This performance is on September 9th. We'll have a dress rehearsal that day at 2 o'clock, and then we're going to perform later that day. We don't know the times yet because we're still discussing with Relay how that's going to work with their schedule. And then just a reminder, this date comes up fast. Our participation fees are due August 12th. The Nutcracker, we're going to do 2 weekends again. So it's December 8th and 9th, and then 15th and 16th. The 2 dress rehearsal dates for those are the 7th and the 14th. This is an optional performance, and it is a ballet performance, but even if you don't take ballet classes, you are still welcome to perform. The participation fee is due a little earlier this year. It's due September 23rd. That covers your costumes, your rehearsals, the theater rental, props and scenery, all the stuff that we need to make this happen. Since most of these rehearsals, with the exception of me and my grown-up and special needs, and maybe some of our pre-pro classes, most of these rehearsals are going to happen on Saturdays. And so that's why our participation fee is a little higher to cover the time that we need. All the rehearsals are going to take place on Saturdays, like I said. This schedule is a little funky, just accommodating our fall break with the schools, as well as those couple weeks that I'm getting married and out of the country. So mark your schedules and your calendars, and this is on our calendar and in our handbook. September 30th, October 7th, October 28th, November 4th, November 11th, November 18th, and December 2nd are our rehearsal dates, and then we can see where we're at. I think we should be good. We'll cast everything and let everybody know by September 25th. And then usually for your Saturday rehearsals, you're looking at between 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and 2 hours, depending on your age. The Little Mermaid is going to be our spring show this year, and I am super jacked about it. We already have the dates for that. We're looking at April 19th and 20th. And then dress rehearsals, April 17th and 18th. And I forgot to say this in Nutcracker, but for a youth division, we split that up into cast A, cast B. And so one cast will perform one weekend and the other cast will perform the other. The same idea here. We'll have a cast A, cast B, so our littles don't have to do every single show because that can be really overwhelming. The participation fee for The Little Mermaid is due January 27th to give us some lead up time to order costumes. And then if you look here, this always gets a little confusing. For the initial or only class, that's your first class that you take. And then if you have any additional classes that you're performing in, that's when that $40 or $50 comes in. That's just to pay for your costuming. We'll announce casting, and if we need extra rehearsals or older kiddos to jump into younger kiddo classes in any lead roles, we'll let you know that on or before January 29th. Rehearsal attendance policy. You're expected to be at all of the rehearsals. Sometimes things might happen that prevent you from doing that. So we're asking for an 80% attendance rate. If you fall below that, that's where we get into the danger zone that maybe you or your class will not be comfortable on stage. You can also request a private or semi-private lesson at any time. We just want you to be sure that you feel confident. So if you just need a little extra one-on-one time, you just ask us and we'll take care of that. If you needed to withdraw, let us know as soon as possible. The closer we get to performance time, the harder it is to rework things. So as soon as you notice that you can't perform for whatever reason, let us know and we can start this process. I will refund as much as I can, but dance costumes have to be ordered early because they're all online, and then they usually can't be returned. And so depending on whether we can reuse it or whether we can get credit for it or whatever, sometimes I'm not able to refund your costume fee. I'll figure out the appropriate amount and I'll give that back to you. Withdrawal really does affect your entire performance group. So if your instructor has to spend extra time resetting or there need to be extra rehearsals, then that also could contribute to how much we can refund you because we'll have to pay the instructor for that. This doesn't apply if you had a personal emergency, a family emergency, a severe illness or hospitalization. This is just like a conflict of like, oh, we didn't know we were going out of town that weekend. It's very case by case, so we'll just play that by ear. Progression through levels. Youth division is really easy. Generally, you are in whatever group based on your age, and then you move up as you grow. Obviously, every kid is different, so sometimes we'll have 3-year-olds that need another year in me and my grown-up for some separation anxiety. Sometimes we'll have a 5-year-old who's turning 6, who's ready to bump up into beginning dance and does better with older kids. It's a little bit based on your child and how they're doing, but mostly it's based on calendar age. Pre-pro is where that changes. At age 8, that's when we start, and then after that, from level 1 on, it depends on gaining skills and your evaluations, and then that kind of determines how you're going to move up. There's nothing wrong with spending multiple years in the same level. It's making sure we're getting all the concepts. Using the KDA curricula, we share everything. My brother was a soccer player, and I know from that experience that like you could just see what they were doing. You could watch every practice and like understand the skills. Dance can feel a little more mysterious, so we want to be sure that we're providing you all the information so you feel empowered that you know what they're supposed to be learning and what your child is learning. So we have those linked on our website if you want to look at those, or if you ask us, we can print you out a copy. Dancer evaluations, it's my goal, because I'm only working this job this year, I don't have multiple, that all of our dancers from beginning dance all the way through pre-pro are going to get evaluations each semester. So the big one at the end of the year, at the end of the school year, I guess, and then like just a little check-in around Nutcracker time in December. Evaluations include all the steps, the concepts, the goals, and then instructors' assessment, some feedback, personalized feedback for them. Point work is a big deal. Level 3 ballet classes are when we start working towards getting point shoes. That's a whole year-long process. Usually that's going to happen. The point shoes themselves are going to happen closer to the end of the year. We bring in a physical therapist to screen our dancers to make sure they're safe. We do any work that we need to prevent any injuries, and then we move on from there. But level 3 ballet parents, you're going to get a lot more information about this. Summer classes and intensives, I know this is right now, August 1st, about a whole year away, but just those in the back of your mind. If your dancer is on point, and wants to perform on point in the Nutcracker, they have to dance during the summer. There's just not enough time between the start of the year and Nutcracker rehearsals for them to get strong enough to perform on point if they haven't been performing on point all summer. We also encourage everybody to dance in the summer, not to overwork and get burned out, but to continue to be strong and take advantage. Private lessons. We are not a studio that thinks you need private lessons all the time. That's a lot of money and a lot of time. But sometimes you might need help with your performance piece. You might be struggling with a step that you really want to master. And that's a time that you can reach out to your teacher and ask for a private lesson. Usually that's going to range between $30 and $50 an hour, depending on your teacher. We also don't have our teachers pay for studio rental space. They were paying rent anyway, they use it, and then all of their private lesson money goes directly to them. So if you ever feel like you need a little extra help, a private lesson or a semi-private lesson with a couple of dancers can be a really good solution. Guest teachers and workshops, it's our goal that we're going to bring at least one guest teacher in every month. And I think we can meet that goal. And then just so you all are aware, we have a pretty stringent interview process. I spend between half an hour, usually more like an hour or an hour and a half, talking to any guest that's coming in, asking them specific questions and making sure they're the right fit for us. Even if they're only here for one class, I want to be absolutely sure that they are safe and supportive people for our dancers. Health and safety, liability waiver and media release. You're going to receive this usually about a couple of days after you enroll. At the beginning of the year, there's a little delay time because there's so many to get out. We do need your liability waiver that just says you're not going to sue us for all that we have if your dancer gets injured. The media release has two options. Either you release your child's image for marketing purposes or you don't. Either one is fine, but we need that information so we can mark it down in our roll book so our teachers know that. And then community building. Oh, we're almost there. You all are so patient. Studio communication, you can expect at least one email to the full studio from me every Friday. We call it our weekly update. We use the email that we got on file from ClassBug, whoever registered you, but we can add as many people as you need. A lot of our older students like to include their email so they get all the information at the same time as their parents. And then sometimes you have split custody or you have grandparents that are really involved, a million different family configurations. And so we can just add everybody's email so everybody knows what's going on. And we also have Band app. We're going to keep that. And generally what I do is I just copy any email into the Band app because sometimes that's easier for you all to see and just like glance at. It's also great during like performance times for just little announcements. Our number one thing with all of the big stuff is our Google folder. We have a KDA families folder that you all already have, that has our calendar, it has our handbook, it'll have this recording. But we also have folders for every performance. So Racing for a Cure, Nutcracker, and The Little Mermaid, that'll have all your rehearsal schedules, all the dress rehearsal schedules, all of the dress code stuff for the performances. All of that stuff will be in its own folder. We'll send that to you via email and we'll put it in Band. We'll make sure you know where it is. We get a lot of questions about how families can help. Really, sharing your kids with us is more than enough. Like you are sharing the most precious thing you own with us. But if you do like volunteering and you want to volunteer and contribute, performance times are where that really kicks up. And we definitely need backstage volunteers, front of house volunteers. We'll have digital signups for that. But really, we need a big team of people to make that happen. If you have a skill you'd like to share, photography or makeup or hair or marketing or videography, that you want to do for us, then let us know. Either we'll employ you, we'll pay you for it, or we can work out a tuition exchange, or you can just donate your time. Any of those are fine. If you're not a volunteer person, but you want to contribute, we do have an Amazon wish list. I will say we also always need paper towels. We always need hand soap. We always need Lysol wipes. So if you're ever at Kroger and you're like, I want to do something nice for the studio, we will never turn down paper products, snacks, cleaning supplies, all of that stuff. And you can always just throw some snacks in the dancer lounge for the dancers to grab between classes. And our last one, if you have questions, comments, concerns, we are here. I'm Amanda, the Academy Director. So the number that you see links directly to me. That 502 number that's on everything. I'm also Amanda at KY Dance Academy. I run all the social media. So if you have any questions at all, I honestly love questions and I'd rather answer 100 questions a day than have anybody feel like they don't know what's going on. So if there's anything that wasn't clear or you have a specific question about your dancer, let me know and we'll figure it out. But thank you all for your patience. Thank you for sharing your kids with us. And thank you for all that you do. We are looking forward to this year.